Hey guys, Lanesh Devotee here again. I finally got to play T-Mind, who is, I believe his real name's Stefan, and we've been trying to see if we can get a time together, but he's in a different time zone, so that's been tricky. Now I'm doing a voiceover instead of live because the only time that worked was in the afternoon, and my kids were running around, and so you would have had a lot of background squealing and stuff from 3-year-old girls. So it's a voiceover version. I'm using my Smashagun Nazdreg deck, which is tuned for Orklander and kind of skips trying to do anything else, which isn't exactly the most reasonable thing to do. As you can see, I had 2 Orklanders in my opening hand, and so I kept it because all I want is the lander. But Crush Face and the 2 discounters and a decent elite is actually not too bad. I looked through the first few planets, and we had a red planet win by planet 3, and we had a blue planet win by 4, I think it was, and so yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Alright, so he's got a Bone Singer, he's got Baharroth. I'm expecting Vipers and Wraith Knights, and possibly and Wraith Guard and other things like that coming up. So I start with the SDC. I figure I'll use the bigger discounter, seeing as they're both limited, but get the more effective one out, and that kind of means I'm going to have to use it to bring in the Blitzer Bomber, otherwise I'm not getting the value out of it. Lots of catching up going on in the text box, so you can read along with that if you're curious, but hopefully we'll get into the moves pretty soon. I'll try to be quiet and just trim out anything that's time that was too much thinking time or talking about other things instead of playing the game, seeing as I'm doing it voiceover style now. And he brings in a Soaring Falcon. Yep. When I first saw that, I was thinking, oh crap, because with my landers, with my smasher guns, with all the indirect damage that's in this deck, having something with that many hit points, especially when he's brought it in for 1 resource, is pretty frustrating. You know, that's not going to be that's going to be able to soak up a lot of my damage coming out there. So I put it on Ferrin because I figured I'm not actually too worried about the first planet. I just want to stop him getting that red one if he gets there, and I also want to try and get resources. And I exhausted the SDC, but I didn't actually do the cost reduction, so I just fixed that there. Now, him putting the Earthcast there meant I was thinking, crap, he's going to put out a promotion, I'm pretty sure. Because, I mean, otherwise, why would you do it there? You know you're going to lose. If I'd had a promotion, he would have been out of luck. I could have promoted my Blitzer Bomber. But, yeah, that was a bit of a frustrating thing. I was hoping to be able to send Nazdreg somewhere else to pick up a few more resources, potentially. Actually, I think I was thinking of sending him to Yavin and dropping out pretty much anyone, potentially. But yeah, the Earthcast there means I'm pretty limited in where I can send my Warlord at this point. I really need the resources. I need to clear my hand as much as possible. I don't have particularly great cards for actually playing with generally in this deck, you know. I try and make them fit together, but they've basically been chosen because they're fuel for the Orklander. I'm making sure my lander is going to hit as often as possible in this deck. So I need the resources to be able to play the few cards that I do. They are generally pretty expensive. So it's got a pretty solid bit of command out there. And we both choose nice and quickly. Okay, just like to sort of wait and see if the other guy's going to flip as quick as I did. He's pretty quick. And he's going to planet 1, which is fair enough. He gets to claim it, he gets to get it. He could have bounced out of the way if he thought it was going to be a danger. Good call for his Baharroth to go there. So I get my resources. He gets an awful lot of stuff. And a lot of times in this video you'll see that I wait before firing the lander because I want to try and destroy things with my warlord or at a battle before I lay out a whole bunch of damage on everything else. That's generally what I'm trying to do. Don't mobile anything, which seems fair to me. Yeah, planet 1 is his. Thankfully he can't trigger it on anyone, which is kind of equivalent to a bit of a resource loss, I feel, you know. But it's certainly shrieking away from me with command already. Alright, so I kill that nice and easy and fire off the lander, and first lander shot is a blitz bomber, so 5 damage, that's decent. As he says, as I noted, Falcons could soak up an awful lot of that. I figure that one's getting more income, so that's the one I want to get rid of. Okay, I got an AUK cannon, that's good. I got commando sneakers, which I was thinking that being used with the block bomber would be amazing. But also, if I put Crush Face somewhere decent, along with the Big Tooth banner here, I can get in the sneakers for cheaper, which is also a really tempting thing, you know. So I put out the banner, which is good. I've got the cannon I need to put out, and then I need to make some decisions about which thing goes out next. I figured if I put Crash Face on the first planet, and if I could put out the Corpulent Orc on the first planet, and Nazdreg going to the first planet, hopefully I could either throw in the sneakers to ready somebody there for cheap and hit them with brutal, or I could save them for the bomber in case I needed them for the bomber. I figured the resource I would get from Yvonne and the resource I would get from Theron would mean that I'd have the room to do it, so I'm about to choose it. I figured that's what I was looking to, and that would give me enough resources to bring in the sneakers. But him putting that there means I don't get enough resources, and if I want to retain my sneakers trick, I'm going to need to not go there. You know, I'm going to need to not put out the Corpulent Orc, or I won't be able to afford it. I'll at best have one resource and the ability to drop the cost by 1 because of Crush Face. So I decided I wanted to use the sneakers ability. I figured that was important, and so I didn't bother using the Corpulent Orc yet. And yep, plenty of command for Baharroth. And this was an interesting little manoeuvre, just... I'm not sure quite what... I mean, it allowed him to do a bit of sort of shifting around of other stuff. I don't think it's really necessary. I'm not sure exactly why he felt he had to, when we look at where they all end up. But it's an interesting little shuffle around. I think perhaps he wanted to be not have the Viper on planet 2 in case I went there with the Warlord, just to possibly make things a bit safer. But yeah, I need to go to planet 1 to make Crush Face effective, is what I'm thinking here. And I'm going to 1, and he's going... Oh, I hadn't flipped it. I'm going to 1, he's going to 2, which is pretty standard for Baharroth. He can always move to 1 if he needs to. So, he gets so much command, and I get my one little resource. Not really good enough, but it's something at least. And now he's got to think through his mobile. He's got lots and lots of choices here. The Viper can move and then follow to planet 1 if needed, so that's good. So yeah, Baharroth goes there, Viper follows and follows, and then he's thinking about where the Falcons are going to end up. One of them shifts over, and so yep, perfect. Plenty of command. Retained. Just checking he's all done. He targets Yvonne, so I'm assuming he's all done. And then I'm thinking, if I swing with Crush Face first, I'm hoping that he will try and hit Nazdreg before too long. And also, as I say, like I was saying with the Warlord, trying to kill off Kappas and things before I use the lander, Orc Cannon's doing the same thing, trying to cause a bit of damage before I use the lander, so the damage goes straight to units that are going to be a problem for me. He shields it, which is... he's used up a card, you know, that's not too bad. But I'm thinking hopefully if I swing with Crush Face, he'll use the Viper to try and get Nazdreg, which is pretty risky for me because I don't actually have any shields, which means Nazdreg's probably going to get bloodied. But I was hoping that being able to ready and swing again, I could cause some serious damage there. But he swings a Crush Face, which is a bit disappointing. That means I've got to pay full price for my commandos. I wondered if I should have used them to bring the commandos in straight away and ready Crush Face. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would have helped much. But seeing as I had Nazdreg not too badly hurt, I wanted to see if I could kill that Viper. And he's not dead yet, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm expecting the sneakers to come in and be able to cause some problems. So I take a hit from Baharroth. Again, no shield, so it goes straight through. And here we go. Bring out the sneakers. Take an extra point of damage on Nazdreg, which is a bit of a shame, but still. And then I want to finish off that Viper if I can. There we go, finish off the Viper. Alright, so Nazdreg can now swing at Baharroth. That's going to be good. But I realise I need to give the action window in between. And out comes the Gift of Isho, which makes me go, oh no. That's not helpful. So, this planet is pretty lost. I can't see many ways to survive it. So I might as well do the lander now, I figure. Because the gifted thing is going to stay in anyway. 3 from the flash kits. Now, he put them on the Soaring Falcons. And I thought, well, why would you do that? You can just put them onto the Wild Rider, because it's going to die anyway, and that way the damage would be, you know, ephemeral, it would disappear. But I realised if he'd have done that, I would have a chance to kill the Viper with my Nazdreg and my sneakers, and I might actually have won the planet. So that worked out for me in a sense. He still had to send it away. And I forgot that actually the sneakers had just killed the Viper, which was why it was actually his attack. So he's going to bloody Nazdreg anyway. In which case maybe he should have put 3 damage there. Maybe not. He didn't know what sort of shields I might have had, so I might have been able to keep him alive. I might have had my cyborg body or something. So, Nazdreg bloodied. Which is a bit rough, not too pleased about that. And I'm just going to back off with the sneakers. At least it gives me a bit of a body to carry with me to defend my bloodied warlord, even if it's not the most effective unit to have keeping alive. He doesn't trigger Yavin, which is not a surprise. And end of the turn. So I picked up a Smasher Gun battery. That's pretty sweet. I'm quite pleased with that. He's got 7 cards. He's going to have less, obviously, by the time I get it out. But I was like, you know what? You've picked up a few cards so far. Let's see if we can punish you for it. I was thinking it would be nice to get the Corpulent Orc out first, so I take less damage, and also Corpulent Orc is a good target for it. But at the end of the day, I want to put in as much damage as I can. Nice, cheap Wild Rider Viper. Frustrating vehicles those are. And I believe I fire off the Smasher Gun. I think. Maybe I do try and put the Corpulent Orc out. Not sure suddenly. Yeah, I don't like the Vipers. They're mean. I figure the sneakers are going to be exhausted anyway. If he wants to finish them off, it's kind of a wasted attack. So he's done 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I managed to kill something, which is nice. But I loaded up a lot of damage on a lot of other things, which is even nicer. So I've got 3 sources of indirect damage on my supports now, so that's pretty good. And even the Blitz bomber counts as a source of indirect damage, so that's potentially going to be quite helpful as well. Oh, sorry. So he keeps going with some command. At this point he's got, what has he got? 2 red and 2 blue. So if I stop him on Farron, I also need to stop him on the next every planet until the last planet of the game. So I'm on the back foot already. I do manage to put out the Corpulent Orc. A bit late, but still. He doesn't get the brutal bonus, which is going to be really frustrating. But at least he'll take some time to wear through, and I can cause some damage with him. I'm very aware that this is a winning planet for him. This is his first winning planet. So I'm a bit worried about how it's going to go. But I was hopeful that he didn't have anything too big, and so he would go to planet 1 and I should be able to hold it off. I was hopeful. I wasn't necessarily fully expecting, but I was hopeful. I was quite shocked that he went all the way out to Planum. Sorry, I couldn't remember how to get command suddenly. And I realised that I just landed my Warlord right next to the Viper, which is hugely frustrating. Now, one of the options I was thinking was going out to Ossus on the end and just getting all resources so I can afford to buy stuff. If I'd have done that, I wouldn't have drawn a card, and then my lander would have got that salvaged battle wagon, which would have done 7 indirect damage, which would have been just phenomenal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... probably would have been enough to kill all those units and damage Baharroth, and then I could have stayed opposite the Viper much more safely. When I saw that I drew the battle wagon, I was so upset. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. At least I had an SDC that was out, and I might be able to get rid of it later. So, sorry, my computer began to get a bit laggy for a bit here. His action, so I just wait for him to do his action before I fire the cannon. Yep, he says no. Alright, and so I try and ping off that end down there. And he shields it again. At least it's shielded. At least its card gotten rid of. Although now he knows I've got the Smasher out, so he's trying to avoid having too many cards, I think. Shield as much as possible. So I want to rout the Viper, but obviously, as will become clear, the next battle planet is Planum, so he can negate it. It's like Carnath triggering Ossus and then having Ossus be the next planet, you know, it balances out. The Viper ends up where it was going to end up anyway. I've got no way to contest that. Up comes the Viper. Okay. At least the Viper's been knocked down. So, I fire out a ramshackle truck. Pretty good. That's handy. A good solid 5 damage. At least the Farron managed to mean the Viper was exhausted, so that could be good. I have to see what I did. using up some shields, which is good. Viper died. But the way he rearranged the discard pile meant, oh no, he's going to gift again, isn't he? Oh, really wasn't it? I was really hopeful he wouldn't, but looks pretty likely. Because of that, that's why I ran away, because I just didn't want to risk him using the gift again. I wish I could have killed off the Guardian, but I just couldn't be confident about it. Which means 1 point of damage on the sneakers was enough to win it, and he gets to trigger Karnath, which is really frustrating. I was not expecting it to go that badly, you know? Them some brave Guardians. And he goes for an extra card, which is fine by me, because I've got a Smasher Gun battery to use. Alright, and we end the turn. And I grab a Squigify, which is nice, and a, what is it, Nazdreg's Flash Guts, also very nice. So first things first, I want to drop out this Battle Wagon. I want to make sure I've got something hefty to soak up the Smasher damage, seeing as I've got a bloodied Warlord that I don't want to get too close to death. I don't have many shields in here, it's very dangerous. And then the Wraith Knight exhausts it, and that's frustrating as heck. Alright, so I fire off the Smasher, because I've got not much else to do. 1, 2, 3, and... oh, I should have done another one. Oh, I think I've only done 3. Oh dear, that's not good. Hopefully it wouldn't make too much of a difference. I might have put another one on the Corpulent Orc. Hopefully it would have killed it by overkill anyway, so... bugger, that's a shame. Uses up some more shields, which is a good call when I've got the Smasher around. That's going to be a nuisance. I don't have that many units that are out anyway. So I initially was thinking I could Squigify the Wraith Knight, and that would be huge, it'd be great. Then I realised it says non-vehicle unit. So all of T-Mine's big units that are going to be the biggest problem to me, I can't Squigify them. So basically, it may as well just be shields. But wouldn't it have been good to turn the Wraith Knight's pilot or whatever into a Squig? Oh, that would have been helpful. I've got nothing else to do, and so he starts loading it up. Drone defense system. Oh, that's going to be pain. It's going to be really frustrating. I have to go to this planet. It's a win condition for him. I have to go there. And if I go there, I've got all my exhausted things there, but also it means my Warlord's there and could potentially get himself bloodied if I hung around. So, really a pain in the bum. Finally, he's done 2. I nip over, and without thinking, I click 2. I wanted to click 1. I was thinking 1. I'm looking at it and thinking 2. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, that's what he's going to. It's just silly. Luckily, he's a really good sport, and obviously I needed to go to 1. There's no reason for me to go to 2. I need to drop everything off at 1 or I lose. And so instantly I'm very confused. I got to say, the girls running around wasn't a help. It was a bit of a distraction in that regard, but T-Line very, very kindly allows me to take it back and go to Planet 1, which is incredibly kind of him. That's one of the perils of playing online, is that if you bump the wrong button and you're not paying enough attention, you're done. Whereas in person, picking up the dial, I don't think I would have made the same mistake there. So I'm going to 1. He's very kind to me, but I mean, we could technically have called it there and said, well, no, you made the mistake, and he wins because of that mistake. Could have been the way to do it, but he's very kindly let me take Planet 1 there as my choice. What I like here is the Weird Boy Maniac, which gives me an idea. What I'm thinking is, if I can keep my salvaged battle wagon alive long enough for it to kill something, then I can put a Maniac onto the second planet, hopefully kill off something, and then fire the lander to get the absolute maximum out of all that indirect damage that I'm going to be using. Otherwise, he could potentially kill the rogue trader with the lander damage, which won't help me in battle, but will, absorb some of the damage. He doesn't know I've got a Maniac in, but still. I use the cannon to try and pull down the amount of absorbable bodies that aren't relevant. And it kills one of them, thankfully. That's good. Now, really risky with Nazdreg here. Oh yes, he says he's got an action. I'm absolutely going to let him take it back because he let me go to a whole different planet. Obviously he wants to use the drone defense system because it's an action, it's not an attack. Which is, I totally was expecting it. I knew that was coming. There's not much I can do about it. Now I'm just trying to do the damage of the calculation of how much damage will the battle wagon take with the Hawks and with Baharroth, and I decided I need to shield it. I need to make sure it stays alive. And luckily nothing else is quite dead yet, but very, very close. Now I forgot about the indirect damage from the bomber. So if he did spend all his attacks trying to kill off the battle wagon, then the bomber would be able to get some indirect damage on it when it readied before he'd be able to kill it. So I believe he ends up trying to kill the blitzer bomber, which means my salvage battle wagon stays alive, so that's really good. Yeah, there we are. So he kills that. That's, a shame, but I really want that battle wagon to stay alive. That's what I'm thinking. So I've got nothing I can do here. He's thinking, yes, this is looking good. I'm really close, this is going to do well. And kills the corpulent orc. Alright. And then we will get up. And my desire is to try and kill the Wraith Knight. It has the bigger attack. And that's really dangerous to me. I don't like that. Theoretically, I could have killed the Hawks instead, and then fired the lander. I don't know. Don't know if that would have been the best move. So I'm killing the Wraith Knight. Done. Now, as I discover, he could have Gift of Ishid it back in. Later on he says he made a mistake, he should have done it. I would have let him if he'd have said he made a mistake, you know, if he said I forgot. But I think he made the mistake not because he forgot, but because he was deliberately waiting to bring it in later, and then because he'd waited, it all failed. So I bring in the Maniac using the reaction of the Battle Wagon, which hurts the Trader. And then it's actually my action first now, so I think now I get to use the lander. Yep. I think. Am I waiting for him? No, because that's a reaction to my attack. It should be me. Yeah, I've gotten confused about my action windows, but it is my action first anyway. So now we fire the lander. Now we've cleared out using the cannon and using the Maniac. So cross his fingers. Let's see if I get something good. Here we fire out another ramshackle truck, so another 5. Absolutely fine given how little damage there is out there on the board. See here he says, oh no. See, made a mistake. But now that I'm watching it back again, see, he goes on to explain later, and we discuss later, that he should have brought in the Wraith Knight. But as I'm saying, the Maniac is a reaction, I have initiative, so the lander is my action first before he'd be able to use the Gift of Ishid. So actually this is playing out how it should, and he wouldn't have had the opportunity to use his Gift of Ishid. So he shields 1 on the Hawks, and then realizes that they've got attack 0 anyway, because Baharroth is bloodied. But if he'd left Baharroth there, he would have had to face off with this giant wagon. There's no point in that. So in a moment, he moves the damage off the Guardians, so that he shielded the Guardians, gets some command at least, and kills off the Hawks, let them die. Now he says he was waiting because the idea was he was thinking, I won't play Gift of Ishid, I'll get another couple of attacks in first, then jump in with the Wraith Knight so that I haven't exhausted my own units. But actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure Action Windows Initiative, he wouldn't have been able to play Gift of Ishid anyway. Which makes me even happier about my Mork brutal cutting there. I think I did well to hold them off on that planet. Got a couple of units out, command is finally beginning to tip with all my indirect damage. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty pleased so far. I decide I don't want to trigger that because I don't want any more cards in my hand. I don't want the Smasher Gun to be hurting me too much. It's just not a good idea for me, I don't think. Haven't got much that can soak it up, you know. And then next turn, another Maniac, that's good. Cannon, that's brilliant. I'm totally keen to use the cannon. Now I'm a bit worried about this because I had my battle wagon that I absolutely need to take to planet 1, but I'd be off initiative, which means I could get assassinated. However, he dooms, which is really painful. I lose the battle wagon, which has been useful, but got heaps more mileage out of. But that's actually helpful because it means Nazdreg doesn't need to go to planet 1 anymore. Nazdreg can go somewhere else. So I put out the Goth knob to make sure I've got a few more hit points on the board, and he kindly points out I've exhausted the Smasher when I meant to exhaust the STC. But nice cheap Goth knob, lots of hit points, throw it on the first planet just to try and do as much as I can. But now, as I say, Nazdreg is free to go and cancel that command on Ossus, which is great, and then I can hopefully spend and put out some more of my units. Traditional Baharroths on planet 2, do some command, move into planet 1 if need be. I've got quite a few resources. I think I do decide to put out the Maniac, but I figure I'll wait and see if he puts anything else on that planet. If he does, or if he puts on one of the other planets, might be able to do the Maniac then. He's got all the Bone Singer Choirs, which is scary. Throw out the Maniac there. It was a bit of pain. I was hoping he wouldn't go to planet 1, so I wouldn't have to ping myself too much. And I decide at the end of the day I've got 3 cards, he's only got 2. I'm not going to use the Smasher. I could have possibly been really dangerous for him, but I decided I don't want to do more damage to myself. I probably could have got away with it, but I'm just letting you know that I didn't forget to use it. I did think about it and decide that 2 to him, 3 to me. I didn't like those odds. But looking at the table again, maybe I could have got away with it. So I go right down the end. I figure I might as well get rid of that. I'm hopeful that I can kill the Guardians and then fire the lander, and again maximize the amount of damage that I put onto him. But we will see. He gets all that command, which is a pain, but you know, it's resources. Okay, we're on to battles. So clearly he can't stay on 1, but he could potentially bring across the Hawks. But it's probably not worth it. They could do a big hit, then I'd get to really hurt Baharroth back. Seems risky. And as, yeah, no mobile for the Hawks. Yep, no, that's pretty much what I expect. So, before we land it, let's cause some damage. I want to see if I can kill off those Hawks. So I get to ping my own guys. And potentially, if I'd done the Smasher, possibly, those 2 damages would have already gone on to the Guardians and the Hawks, and I could have used the cannons to try and ping Baharroth, potentially. But, yep, managed to get the Hawks with 1. That's really helpful. And so I use this one because I want to ping Baharroth. And I decide I feel like I don't want to risk any damage on the Goth. Big, brutal, well, not brutal, keyword, but nasty Orc. I want to make sure he's as strong as possible for these last couple of turns. And Baharroth gets the heck out of dodge. Understandable. But that's Planum, which, you know, hadn't planned this far ahead. It just turned out to be Planum. But that means I can move the Goth onto the next planet 1, which is really, really, really good. Capture that planet, throw that into the HQ. Teamline points out, surely this is game. Could be. I can't see many ways out of it. But I just want to use the last couple of minutes to just really zip quickly through what I was going to do. I was going to attack the Guardians, which he isn't able to stop. I kill them. That's when I fire the lander. All he has left is Baharroth, who I hit for 5. That's pretty darn good right there. That's where he's got a Gift of Isha. I'm wondering if he... I don't know what was on the top of his pile. He might have been able to Gift of Isha and a Wraith Knight or something at the right time. One of those 2 planets. But possibly not. I think I had something else killed. I think I had a Hawks killed after that, so he would only have been able to bring in a Hawks, which obviously wouldn't have had the same effect at all. So we're just going to really quickly look at what would the next round be. So I thought we were done, but I thought actually I still would like to see just quickly how it would go. And he gives the resource, so yeah, let's see how it would go. I get my +1 resource. I've got the Smasher next deploy phase, so that's probably going to be that. Alright, I got a Bigger is Better, which means I can throw out those flash kits really cheap. I got a Battle Cry, which means if anywhere you turn up, I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage. He's got a Shining Blade, 3 shields, but he's got 4 cards. So he has to do 1 more damage, which kills his Warlord, and that is that. Warlord Assassination, Planet 6, with my Orklander Smash Gun deck. Brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. So, that was a really good workout for the lander deck. It worked, but I mean, how often are you going to get 5 consistently every single time for the Orklander? That's not usual. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a bit of a chat with Stefan, and I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. See you later.